This will be a short video on the second version of this single motor steerable toy I'm working on. I just published a video yesterday on it, I believe. I'll show it working first. I'm using a little, all this control does is reverse the direction of the motor, turn it on or off, or reverse it so forward. We can steer it by turning that motor in reverse. I have a little pointer on the top of it showing which way it'll go. This version is different from the last in that it has a commutator on the top, so this wires doesn't get wrapped up as easy. It's actually kind of fun to drive around. That little black dot on the top shows the direction, or approximate direction it's going. Takes some practice to drive it. Now I'll show some close-ups of the commutator device. Here we are up close with the commutator I've added. This is a device or a system to transfer power from the battery box to the switches around these wires through this commutator, through this ring down. There's wires hooked to this. There's wires hooked to this part down through here to the motor, and so it will work while it's being turned. Here we go. So that's what the motor is getting its power through. The commutator, this part is just a piece of double-sided PC board with a hole cut out in the middle, and then I cut it out with a scroll saw and sanded it to its final shape. This part is what is in one of these yellow motors. If you take the motor out, you take this little end bell off, this part goes on this peg right here, and it's the commutator for the motor to pass power into a motor through these copper contacts. I guess this would be called the brushes, and these would be called the commutator. So these are technically brushes. They are extremely small and very fragile. I was really surprised that they were that small when I opened it up. First of all, I was surprised that they were in their own little module. But that did make it easy for me to put on here with just a screw and a little L bracket. But they're so fragile that it makes it extremely difficult to assemble. This is probably not the system I'll use in the end because it's just too hard to assemble. If I wanted to take this cap off, I would have to unsolder the wires from the motor and pull the whole thing up out through the top. It's very similar to this little post that comes up that this is all screwed to. I'm not going to take it apart because it's just too hard. This version actually has a slot going all the way to the top. That's one of the things I found had to do to get it assembled. So the wires on this disc can pass down through the bottom and out to the motor. I think the future version I'm going to make will probably be based around some type of plumbing fixture like this, and I'll make it so that you can just unscrew the nut on top that holds it on and pull this disc off. Well, you probably have to move the brushes out of the way, but that would be easier to assemble and disassemble than this system, which is just way too finicky. Everything I might use is just plain old brass tubing. we'll have to see where that goes. The bottom has been changed. I put, before it just had a single leg coming down here. Now it's like a fork on the front of a bicycle, one on each side. But as you can see, I made some mistakes when I was designing it. This was interfering, so that's a quick modification. That's easily enough fixed in the CAD in the Fusion 360 program. There's also some problems with assembling it that I'll have to make changes on, of actually getting all this stuff in there. This gear in here, I had to put it in there and then slide the motor in to assemble it this time. I think I'll want to change that, although wasn't that hard. This little lever, it barely fit, so some more modifications, but that's just the way it goes. See anything else on here I want to show? I'll just show it running a little more. It's kind of fascinating. Show it from this side. Forward, reverse, reverse and turn. Well, actually it's just turn. When the motor goes in reverse, it turns. Well, thanks for watching.